Hello everyone, welcome back to ESL DRILL. This is part 2 of the lesson, Unity in Diversity in India. At the end of the first part of this lesson, we discussed that there are two types of observers, superficial observers and superior observers. And we learned the difference between those two types of observers. And we also discussed what superficial observers fail to notice about Indian diversity and what superior observers are capable of identifying about the unity in diversity in India. Now let's proceed from there. Let me read this paragraph. From his long and first-hand experience in India, Vincent A. Smith says that the civilization of India has many features which differentiate it from that of the other regions of the world, while they are common to the whole country in degree sufficient to justify its treatment as a unity in the history of human, social and intellectual development. Okay, we have a few vocabulary that we need to discuss here, but before we go into the details, let's look at who this Vincent A. Smith is. This is Vincent A. Smith, and this man wrote The Early History of India. This book actually made him popular. He became popular with this book. And let's look at the vocabulary now. We have this word first-hand experience, first-hand. Now, Vincent A. Smith had long and first-hand experience in India. First-hand means obtained or experienced yourself. It means a direct experience. First-hand experience is a direct experience, a personal experience, not the experience that you get from other people. This Vincent Arthur Smith says that the civilization of India has many features. And these features of Indian civilization differentiate it. It means they show clear separation from that of the other regions of the world. It means if you compare the civilization of India and the civilization of the rest of the world, there is certain clear difference between them. And how different is that? We have a lot to discuss actually. Indian civilization focused mainly on spiritual realization, whereas European or the world's civilization focused on materialistic progress. And look at this here. We have human development, social development, intellectual development. Now all these years of Indian civilization, we have witnessed these three kinds of developments: human development, social development and intellectual development. So in terms of using our intelligence as well. But anyway, we mainly focused on spiritual development, our spiritual understanding, spiritual awareness. Look at this here. Now, people who come from other countries in order to study Indian diversity and Indian unity in diversity, they fail to recognize certain things. But we Indians think that that is common. What is common? That there is unity in diversity in India. We know that fact. That is a common thing for us. And how common is it for us? It is so common that we have enough confidence to justify. It means here to explain why it is so. To explain why Indians are united even throughout the human, social and intellectual development. And that is why Indian civilization has certain distinguishing features that separate or that make them stand out. That is why we can say that Indian civilization features are so unique and they are different from the features of other civilizations. Okay, let's proceed and try to understand. Let me read this. Even the early Indian history unmistakably shows that the political consciousness of the people has from the very early times grasped the whole of India as a unit and assimilated the entire area as the theatre of its activities. India is not a mere geographical expression, nor is it a mere collection of separate peoples, traditions and conventions. India is much more than this. The best proof lies in the fact that Indian history has quickened into life. So, a paragraph with deep ideas. Okay, even the early Indian history unmistakably shows. So, the early Indian history, even if you look at this part as a book written by Vincent A. Smith, or in general, The early Indian history unmistakably shows. Look at the word unmistakably. It means in a way that is easy to recognize. Now we can easily recognize that the political consciousness of the people has from the very early times grasped. Let's look at this political consciousness. That is nothing but political awareness. So people had very good idea of what was happening around them politically. So whatever was happening around them, they were aware of it. They had clear idea of what was happening around them. And this political consciousness, this political awareness grasped the whole of India. So grasp means here hold strongly, hold firmly. Now this political awareness of Indian people made it possible to keep the whole of India as a unit. Look at this here, whole of India as a unit, and assimilated the entire area as the theater of its activities. Look at this one, assimilate here. So absorb and accept. And all the Indians were like a unit. They were united, and this fact made it possible to feel that the country is like a theater full of activities. Yes, I think this is the only country, or at least this is one of the very few countries which allow people to be involved in these many activities. I think we don't have these many jobs in any other country. That's why the whole of India looks like a theater full of activities. But they are united. Even the people do different activities. They are united when it comes to being united. Now, look at the next lines here. India is not a mere geographical expression. So it means India is not a country where you can show it on a map and then say that's it. Oh, here is India and here is this and these are the states of India. No, India is not just a geographical expression. Here mere means just. India is not just a geographical expression. Nor is it a mere collection of separate peoples. At the same time, it is not just a collection or groups of separate people, not collection of traditions, not just a collection of conventions. India is much more than this. We need to discuss a lot here. India is much more than this. India is much more than what? India is much more than just being a geographical expression, just being a collection of separate people, traditions and conventions. What else is there to talk about India? Look at the last line here. The best proof lies in the fact that Indian history has quickened into life. Now the best proof that India is much more than just a country is here. The fact is that Indian history has quickened into life. Let's look at the meaning here. Indian history has quickened into life means Indian history has influenced the life all over the world. It means Indian history has influenced almost all parts of the world in a positive way. Let me give you an example here. How has Indian history influenced the rest of the world? Take, for example, the non-violence principle used by Mahatma Gandhi and the people of India was actually followed by American Negroes who led a civil rights movement under the leadership of Martin Luther King Jr. In his Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech, Martin Luther King Jr. himself told us this thing. He said that the American Negroes followed the people of India and their non-violence principle. So, you can understand how India and Indian principles influenced the rest of the world. So that is just one example of how Indian history has quickened into life. Indian history has influenced the rest of the world. Let's move further. India has many races, castes, subcastes, nationalities, and communities, but the heart of India is one. We are all heirs to a common and rich culture. Our cultural heritage consists of our art and literature as they flourished centuries ago. Our cultural heritage serves as a bond of unity between people of different faiths and creeds. Now, we know India has many races, many castes, subcastes and nationalities. I mean, different people coming from different countries. and communities, but the heart of India is one. It means we can be united when there is a need. So we are all united, in fact. Even though we have different things, we are one. We are all heirs to a common and rich culture. What is the meaning of heir? Heir is a person or somebody who receives property from an ancestor. Ancestor is somebody who lived earlier in our family, a member of our family, but is not alive now. So we are all heirs to a common and rich culture. So our ancestors, people who lived before in our families in India, they left common and rich culture. And we are all heirs. We get that common rich culture. And our cultural heritage consists of our art and literature. See here, what is cultural heritage, by the way? Let me tell you. Cultural heritage is not only limited to material objects, physical objects, no. It also has immaterial elements, things that we cannot see physically, like our traditions, our history, and arts, social practices, traditional craftsmanship, and rituals, knowledge and skills transmitted from generations to generation within a community. So all these things together are called cultural heritage. Our cultural heritage has art and literature. So now we have so many temples and then so many monumental constructions, and now they are our cultural heritage. And they flourished centuries ago. Flourished means developed. So this art and literature, they flourished centuries ago. Our cultural heritage serves as a bond of unity between people of different faiths and creeds. In the first part, we learnt that what keeps Indians united is certain common links and uniting bonds. And this cultural heritage is one of those common links. These things keep us united. Our cultural heritage acts as a bond of unity. It keeps us united. And actually it brings unity between people of different faiths and creeds. Look at the last word, creed there. Creed is a religious faith, a belief in religion or God or something like this. Even though we have different communities, we are all united. That's about it in the second part. And I hope you have liked my explanation. So what I can ask you is to just hit a like button and share this video so that other people can get a chance to watch my videos. Thank you very much. I'll see you in my next video.